Hi, I'm John, and I'm going to be going over the AI text generator today. Going to the details here, we have four inputs to be able to get an output. The prompt is telling the AI system exactly what you want to do. For example, write me a story about bears. Keep it short. All right, this is the input, and the output will reflect something similar. Now, it will write me a story, but if I want it to be the story that I'm thinking of in my head, I have to get more content and context, right? It needs to be able to know specific things that I want in the story. For example, in the story, there should be 5 bears, and each should have a unique name. Good. This story is going to be read to children, so keep it simple. Right. So the language model can be able to understand the context for why you're writing this story or just whatever you're wanting to do. The instructions are additional parameters. So, for example, you could put a word count, keep it under 200 words. And the persona is the voice and tone you want to have. Keep it informal, and you can tell the system who you want to be writing as. You are a storyteller with years of writing experience. Spelled that wrong. All right. Now, when I run with all these parameters, it's going to be able to create a more specific output. So just know that the more context and content and context you give it, the more information it's going to be able to work with. With more instructions, it's going to be able to set correct parameters for what you want the outcome to be. You can be able to see the output when you click on these lines, and you can see any text here, and it will show you the output that it's given. You can also copy the text here, or on the screen, you can copy the text here. And we'll say copy to clipboard. We can go to the advanced settings here, and we can see first the system. And this is what company has made the model that you're using. And so we have lots of different systems here. Our default is OpenAI, which uses ChatGPT. But there are a lot of other systems that you can use depending on different use cases. I would say Anthropic, it focuses on common sense and avoiding biases. OpenAI is very good for general use. Google Palm 2 is really good with languages and creativity. Open sources are for tackling specific problems like programming and storytelling. And Perplexity AI is really good for doing research. Those are what those each specialize in. Each of these have their own specific models that they work with. For example, the difference between ChatGPT 4 and ChatGPT 3.5. I have a documented list on all of these and the differences between the two. So if you want to learn more information about that, you can be able to find the link. Now, finally, the last thing is the advanced settings right here. There's the token limit, which is just going to limit how many words the AI is going to respond to your prompt with. This depends on the amount of tokens, and it basically just means the amount of characters and words that it's going to use. The higher the token limit, the more words it's going to use. The lower the token limit, the less words it's going to use. Then temperature has to do with randomness and creativity. If you have a higher temperature, it's going to be more random and more creative with its responses and vary to what you asked it to do. But if you have a lower temperature, it's going to stay very strict to what you asked it to do. And so then the F penalty, F has to do with frequency. That's what F stands for. And the higher F penalty that you have, it'll use less of the same words. And the lower F penalty that you have, it's going to use similar words, depending on what you want to describe and what tone you have. P penalty, P stands for presence. And this depends on topics and how quickly it'll shift from one topic to another. So if you have a high P penalty, it's going to shift from topics frequently. And if you have a low P penalty, it's going to stay on one topic or a very small amount of topics. But that's how the text generator works. If you want to really get maximum efficiency out of this, you can use text boxes to connect it to be able to put into the content and context, so you can be able to change the context in different situations.